What issues are involved with mandatory minimums regarding drug charges? Attorney Randall Haas says, "A lot of times there are inequities involved with the mandatory sentences. If you don't have any criminal history at all and you go before the court because you have a drug problem and you're in possession of a trafficking amount of drugs, even though you have no intention to sell it or giving them to anyone, the judge has no choice but to give you the mandatory sentence unless the state agrees or if the government agrees to waive it. A lot of times, government has no regard for the person, no sympathy for the person, no compassion for the person. They'll say, 'We're not waiving the mandatory.' Sometimes these mandatories present extremely frightening situations for people because the power that's supposed to be vested in the judges to use their discretion in sentencing is basically taken away from them. They're stripped of any discretion, they're stripped of any power, and the power goes to the people who are prosecuting the crimes. It can be argued that that's not what their Constitution intended when it was written. The problem with that is that the only way they're going to get rid of the mandatory minimums is by the politicians getting rid of them. The politicians have to take a stand and say these minimum mandatories are not right, that they are not just, that they are not applied correctly, they are draconian, and that they are overly severe. If politicians take a stand like that, then they are going to appear to be soft on crime. Politicians don't like to appear soft on crime because if they do, then they are not going to be in office for very long. The politicians are free to take a stand, so it's left up to the courts, to the appellate courts, to make a determination as to whether or not they are constitutional. Unfortunately, the appellate courts have made determinations that there is nothing unconstitutional about those mandatory minimums, that they are for the greater good, and they are not applied unfairly. For a free phone consultation, contact Attorney Randall Haas in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at 954-256-8327, or visit his website at www.fortlauderdalecriminaldefenselawyer.us.